Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi.
And Nick, we're doing something a little different because we talked about how we don't really ever have anything to talk about with our week. So, we're gonna try something different, and we're gonna start doing like, what is it? This week in history, or this day in history, or something along those lines to kind of start us off.
It was actually an idea from my Aunt Cindy, who's an avid listener of ours.
Thank you, Aunt Cindy.
We love her.
Yes. So either this day in history or like
or like what
holiday,
national
like
weird holiday is it?
Yeah. So whichever we find more interesting, or both, because we do a lot of history and crap on here, so we might as well tie this in. I think this will be fun. But what is today, or what happened on randomly on this?
So October 26th. There were two interesting ones I found.
Okay.
If you go to history.com, you can actually find like so many for each day. But two that I thought were interesting for today. The shootout at the OK Corral happened on this day.
Nice.
In 1881.
Okay.
Which is like a very underwhelming, event. Like that's hyped up a lot. Like it was a 30-second gunfight.
Yeah, I've always heard the shootout of the OK, like I've always heard the phrase, but I don't really know what it was.
So,
I don't have any history.
It
I
was a 30-second
don't really know
gunfight.
what it is. Okay.
And it was, because I've seen the movie, so I know everything about this, obviously. Wyatt Earp, his brother, and Doc Holliday were the lawmen. And then I don't remember the name of the guys that were they were like thieves and cattle rustlers and things like that. So it was like a lawman versus cattle rustlers, basically, type of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's made into this like massive, legendary, historic event. I mean, it is. It was in Tombstone, and it is a big part of the history. But like, it's a 30-second thing.
Okay. So yeah, it's just
interesting that it's so hyped up because of the history of Tombstone and cowboys and
so
whatever.
It's just a little tiny thing that kind of became a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly, which was always interesting to me.
Got it. Okay.
There was a second thing that happened on this day, though, that I thought was hilarious. So on this day in 1918, also this name is just like amazing. So Baronet Cecil Chubb. What an iconic name.
Nice.
The last private owner of the Stonehenge gifts the Stonehenge to the British people.
Oh,
so
I didn't know Stonehenge was privately owned. Okay.
Yeah, I guess before 1918 it was. I guess it was just like not a historical site, just land. But the funny part of this is it says 3 years earlier, on a whim, he had paid £6,600 at auction for this piece of land.
Okay.
But it's noted that his wife was mad at him because she sent him to the auction to buy dining chairs. And instead he bought the Stonehenge. So I just thought that was hilarious.
Okay, well, this is just a tale to all wives. Don't send your husbands to buy something because they will come back with something you don't want. It's just how we're going to do things. We're going to buy something that we find interesting and fun, like Stonehenge, because that's what we are. We don't have any self-control most of the time, and we just it's just what it is. Yeah.
He just really wanted Stonehenge.
I don't blame him. I'd want Stonehenge too. Like, I mean, I wonder if it had the same, like, I'm guessing it did. That's not that long ago. I'm sure it had the same lore back then that it does now.
Oh, like, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So
they probably knew less about the lore was probably very heavy. They probably knew less of like
actual.
I think we know a little bit more actual facts about it now, but still not much.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah. Well, that's fun. I like this. I think this will be maybe better than us just asking what we did and then saying nothing. Week? Yeah.
Cool. We did nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Showing off how boring we actually are as people. Nick, this week we are talking about more history, a little bit of haunted history.
Mhm.
and of Leavenworth, Kansas, and the fort
Yeah.
that used to be at Leavenworth. Is it still a fort? I know it's a prison. Is a big thing that is
Um,
there, or
yeah.
the military
So
prison is there, but I don't.
yes, and they still have military police and everything like that there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
is there a fort there still? Is it still an active? I mean, I guess technically, if it's a prison, if it's a military installation, it might still be a fort. But
Yes. But now you're making me doubt myself because I didn't ask that question.
okay,
So I'm going to answer yes with a question mark
okay,
behind it.
okay. I
So
yeah.
what I did was, so me and my friend Kaylee,
Mm-hmm.
we did a haunted history tour.
Nice.
So it
Those are
was
fun.
like equal parts history and then nowadays what are like the hauntings that people see.
Yeah.
So we briefly covered Fort Leavenworth. Um, it was mostly like downtown and the other because so Leavenworth is a very historical town. It was the first established city in Kansas, which I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know that
It
either.
was founded in 1854.
Okay.
So I guess it was the first established city because it was a jumping off point um, for westward expansion. But what was the Pony Express and
Okay.
things like that? Like everything went through there. So it was the first like established um, town, and also Fort Leavenworth was also there by the time it was
Yeah, I
established.
was gonna say 1854 is not that long
1827 was when like
ago.
Fort Leavenworth officially started
Okay.
construction. So
Okay.
yeah. Um, so that's the town in Kansas. The group that led our tour, they were so nice. The First City Paranormal of Kansas, which I should have known by their name, like First City. Okay,
Yeah.
duh.
Okay.
But it
Yeah.
was interesting to learn about all the history of Leavenworth.
Yeah.
So it was a gateway to the west. The fort really
No, that's
established the
St.
town, and then
Louis.
the town grew around it. Well, okay, yes. St. Louis is Missouri's gateway to the west.
Mm,
Leavenworth is Kansas's
mm.
Kansas. I don't know the plural of that gateway to the west because the Santa Fe Trail and Oregon Trails went St. Louis, Leavenworth. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I didn't call them that. I did not give them that official title. That is just what Google says their title is. So. But they had a lot of interesting history. They were actually anti-slavery, so a lot of places
Oh,
around here because we were kind of like that southern northern border. But
yeah.
on the Missouri side, a lot of towns and even the capital, I think, was pro-slavery, but
Mm-hmm.
Kansas was mostly anti-slavery. But especially Leavenworth, they had like the first Constitution of Leavenworth. I forgot what it's they've officially called it in the tour, but they were the first ones to say that Black people are citizens in like the 1800s, like way before anyone
Hmm.
else had said that. So
Okay.
it was very much
Very
like
progressive.
yeah, like
Yeah.
progressive, but at the same time, the whole town is based around a prison. It's very interesting history.
Yeah.
Um, the Leavenworth Constitution, that's what it's called.
Hmm.
So yeah, really interesting history overall. So the group that led this tour was great. So I'll kind of walk you through some of the different stops that we went on the
Yeah.
tour in the history each. So we didn't actually go to the fort because like it's a military
Yeah.
base. So I don't even know if you can go there. But there are some hauntings from the fort that they just talked about, like when in between walking to each place. So at the fort, I guess the officers' quarters host a ghostly apparition of a man with a mustache. So, like, that could be literally anyone in the military just walking by and someone's like a ghost because they all have
Yeah.
mustache.
Hmm.
But, anyways, I guess he just looks old. The Rookery is the oldest house on base and apparently has several ghosts. And actually, this one I had read in a different book. It was like given the reputation of the most haunted house in Kansas, which surprised me because have you ever heard of the Sally House?
I don't think so.
That's the one that like was there an exorcism there? I don't know. It's like really popular for being like really demonic or something. But
Hmm.
so
Okay.
I guess their definition was like the most ghost stories come from this place on base, I guess. But
No. Okay.
yeah, the most prevalent ghost seen at the rookery at the fort is a woman with long hair who claws people with her fingernails. Thought
Okay.
that was funny. So, and there's a lot of other,
Angry ghost.
there's cemetery at the fort. Like, there's a ton of other like ghost stories at the fort, but we didn't actually like go there on the tour. But the first place we went on the tour was really interesting. It was the Leavenworth Local, which is now a hotel, but it's a remodeled high school. So it used to be
Oh.
I believe Catholic high school because they talked about nuns a lot. So it had been Catholic. So there's like the ghost of a nun there that like keeps people in line and like yells at you, I guess, if you're like acting out.
Hmm.
Sounds like a nun.
Yeah.
Um, but it was really cool to see. So like instead of classrooms, they're just like hotel rooms now. I don't know. It's I always
That's
like
interesting.
seeing when like one space is used as something different.
Yeah. So are they? Did they
Yeah.
like? I mean, I'm sure they're not full. Like they've cut them down into smaller areas because
Mhm.
you're not going to have a full classroom as a hotel room. But I mean, does it still
I
look
think
like
they
a
are.
school?
That's what it
Oh.
seemed like because they were numbered and the ladies that were giving the tour were like this used to be this English classroom, this used to be because they went there
Oh.
um way back when. And so they were like this used to be an English well, one of them was a teacher there and she said this used to be my English classroom and I was like that's so
That's
fascinating
cool. Hmm.
and so
So
wild.
it hasn't even been that long since it's been a school. It seems like interesting.
Correct. I think it was just a couple years ago that they finished this remodel and everything. So
Hmm.
um
That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
That's cool.
2015 is when the school closed, I think, like not that long ago. And the auditorium is now like a meeting room. The gym is still basically a gym, but they host like local activities and
Yeah.
stuff. It was really interesting.
Hmm. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
No.
there
Yeah.
were a couple different ghost stories there.
Yeah.
One was the nun teacher who kept people in line. There was another story of a boy that had died, and he's seen in his football jersey around the locker rooms. So we walked like through the locker room. Well, what used to be the locker rooms that now is laundry
Oh. Okay.
for the hotel.
Makes sense.
Um, and they said like where he's seen and everything. So it was cool. The only other ghost story I remember from there was there used to be like a chapel and now it's just a hotel room, but it used to be a chapel. There used to be like a statue of the Virgin Mary and things they were saying, and I guess that area is haunted too,
Hmm.
supposedly.
Okay.
But it was just like the whole time we were there it's just weird to see.
A school
I don't know. Yeah.
turned
Yeah,
into
it
a
was really
hotel.
interesting because you can
Yeah.
very much tell
Yeah.
that it was still
That's
I don't know,
interesting.
it was just very interesting.
Yeah.
After we left the school, because this is all like downtown Leavenworth,
Yeah.
which is not like a massive area. It's a couple blocks, either way. So after we left there, we walked through a couple different, areas, and then we got to the Masonic Temple. Um, this was the only place on the entire tour that they said had like darker energy. Everything else was like, I mean, the nun may be mad at you, but she's not like evil.
Yeah.
But this was the one that they said had like darker energy, which I feel like everyone says that about like Freemasons, secret societies, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
but the original Masonic Lodge, I guess, was chartered in 1856. Now, the building that we saw downtown was dedicated in 1913. So I think they had just done remodeling over the years and then officially dedicated it like in 1913, but
hmm.
still a really long time.
It's a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess they say we didn't. go in. I don't think you're allowed to go in there unless I remember, but they said in like the main area where they do their ceremonies and inductions and things like that has like a negative feeling or aura, negative riz. I
Hmm.
don't
Okay.
know. But
How do they know that? Is that just like a
I guess some members talk
okay?
about it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Fine.
So,
Okay. I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear any like really. Also, it was raining and it was hard to hear outside, but
Mm.
they just said it mostly is like feelings there of
Yeah.
that possibly darker side of history. But
Okay. Hmm.
so the next place we went was my favorite, and I think you would have liked this too because we went to the Performing Arts Center, which used to be the Hollywood Theater. So it was built in 1937, and it's still very Art Deco.
Nice.
Like all the pretty things, the water fountains are like gilded, like it's just so pretty.
That's cool.
And you would have thought this was cool. They had their original what shot the like the original machine that projected the
Projector.
movies. That's
Oh,
like
that's cool. Yeah.
massive. Yeah. So they have it on display in the lobby now, and it was really cool.
Nice.
And they said the film from the last film that was shot on or projected from that projector is still in it because they don't want to take it out because it'll if they take it out it'll just like fall apart, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Yeah. It's probably
So
degraded at this. It's
they
probably
just have it
so
in the
degraded at this
yeah.
point that yeah.
Hmm. So I guess it's still in there and you can like see it in there, but they're never gonna take it out because they don't want to,
Yeah.
you know,
That's cool.
mess it up. But it's a really pretty theater. Now it's not used for movies, it's used for plays, but
Okay.
it's still a theater.
Yeah.
So um they see there were a couple different stories there. The lady in blue or lady in gray. No, it was blue. The blue lady. I guess she's seen in a couple different places in Leavenworth.
Hmm.
Um, but the movie theater specifically, she likes movies. I don't know.
Hmm. Okay.
But
Good for her.
they had mentioned her like in multiple buildings downtown. So they think she just kind of wanders. But Kevin, you would have died. They had a lady recreate like characters. So they had like characters. They had an old couple walking up and down the street, like pretending to be from the 1900s or something. I don't know. But you would have died at this blue lady because she was wearing like a blue kind of pinstripey, like 1940s type dress. Maybe she was like a performer at the Performing Arts Center or something, but like full face makeup and everything. And she was just like walking around our group as like they were talking. It was just like Kaylee and I tried so hard not to laugh. It was just so funny. Um, I don't
Uh,
think you would have been able to handle it because they're like trying to give, like us the
yeah.
tour and information, and Kaylee and I are just like watching this lady like walk all around us in like full makeup. It was so funny. Yeah. I don't think you would have lasted.
Probably not.
Yeah.
uh,
And okay, we're almost done. So that was the fourth or fifth stop in the tour. Um, the next place we went now is a candle store, but it's built, the storefront is on top of a series of tunnels. So I guess Leavenworth has a bunch of underground tunnels because
okay.
they were used for, it's on a harbor or river. So they used it for coal. Um, they ran alcohol during Prohibition. And there were also stores down there underground. So they said there was like a shoe store because they did all the leather underground. So like the store was down there. And I guess a lot of the tunnels have collapsed, but you can still do
Like a tunnel tour.
a tunnel tour.
That'd be interesting.
So that wasn't the tour that we were on,
Yeah.
but um, yeah, I guess they'll like walk down there, point out like where different, you know,
Yeah.
underground stores were, like where they ran the coal and everything. But one of our tour guides said that before it was a candle store and after it was shoes and whatever, it was like a clothing store. And so they still have like a lot of mannequins
Oh, that's
in
creepy.
basement tunnels. Yeah. And so I was like,
That's
I don't
creepy.
know if I want to do the
Yeah,
tour.
that might be a little
But
creepy.
yeah. So they said there's still a lot of activity in the tunnels, whether it's people running cold like old workers
Mm-hmm.
or workers from like the 70s and 80s when there were like storefronts down there. I guess there's a lot of different like sightings down there. But
All right.
and then the last place we talked about that was haunted, um, the Star of the West Saloon, which was only in business for a couple years. Now it's a spa, but it's still a really pretty old building with like wooden pillars in
Mm-hmm.
front and super pretty building. But the Star of the West Saloon was only in business from 1869 to 1887. Like not that long.
So yeah, not even
Um
20 years.
yeah, but I guess it was just, it was a frontier town. This was the saloon. So you had mule drivers, soldiers, um what do they say? Free staters, um and cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
They were just always, fights and fist fight. Oh, they did have lynchings there and tar and featherings.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they said there weren't any, names of significance that we would
Yeah.
know. Like it's not like Billy the Kid was,
Yeah.
tar and feather there, but they had a lot of tar and featherings there, which was super interesting to me because
Interesting.
I think of that and the only thing I think of is like Boston and the, mid 1700s
Yeah.
when someone says tar and feathering. I don't think of
The 1800,
Kansas
yeah,
in
late 1800s.
1880.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was the last stop before we ended the tour with the food and drinks and stuff at a local bar.
Nice.
But it was really interesting.
That sounds
I
fun.
love a good history and ghost tour.
Yeah. I'm all about history and ghost tours.
Yeah, so highly recommend. So it was the First City Paranormal of Kansas. That's the group
Okay.
that leads the specific tour. And they have a Facebook page and I think also the Leavenworth website and everything links to it.
Hmm.
But it's
Okay.
very good. And
Nice.
it's pretty cheap. And they cap it at 30 people. I think there were like 20, 25 people on our tour. So it's pretty chill thing.
Nice. Okay. Well,
Mhm.
if you're in Leavenworth, go see them and do that tour because that sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds
Mhm.
like something I would enjoy. Because what is Leavenworth? It's only like an hour north of Kansas City or something like that. 45 minutes north
Yeah,
of Kansas
like
City.
45 minutes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
something like that. It's not too bad. So if you're in the
Yeah.
Kansas City area, there you go. You got something that's
Hmm.
like 45 minutes to an hour north of Kansas City. So,
Yeah.
okay. I think that means it's time for facts.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, what is your fun fact for this week?
Okay. So I already talked about the Leavenworth Constitution
Mm-hmm.
because they were very much a free city. But also, so more about Fort Leavenworth and the prison. So there were a couple famous prisoners. So
Mm-hmm.
the original Machine Gun Kelly, not the singer
Yeah.
now, was a prisoner there. Um, the Birdman of Alcatraz was a prisoner there for a long time, served 28 years, um, and conducted all of his bird related research there before he moved to Alcatraz. So I remember going to Alcatraz and they talk about the Birdman so often.
Hmm.
Um, and then not a prisoner, but their other like claim to fame, like notable person was that Buffalo Bill Cody spent part of his youth in Leavenworth, and his parents are buried in the city cemetery.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Huh. That's kind of crazy.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, so you talk about Leavenworth being relatively haunted. There's a lot of haunted cities around the country.
Hmm.
Um, so the two that apparently there's two that fight for being the most haunted cities in the United States, and I didn't realize
Really?
this. So
Hmm.
the one that makes sense is Louisiana or New
Yeah.
Orleans. New Orleans makes sense
Yeah.
for being one of the most haunted cities in the country. The one that I was surprised when it popped up on here is Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guessed it. Yeah, I
Really?
knew it. Hmm.
Okay.
I've
So
heard that so often.
it says
Hmm.
that they're both have like tragic, a lot of historical conflicts and things that happen. Um, it says Savannah is known for historical conflicts, including the Civil War, yellow fever epidemics, and New Orleans is obviously known for just all sorts of crap happening.
Hmm.
Um, Salem, Massachusetts is another one. I'm guessing for the
Yeah.
witch trials and things like that, and also it's just
Hmm.
old. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, actively due to the 1692 witch trials. So there you
Hmm.
go. Some of the most
Yeah.
some of the most haunted cities in the country. Because
Yeah.
I'm guessing New Orleans is like I know Salem is like it talks 1692, like that's before the country
Hmm.
was founded. I'm sure New Orleans is old as well. Like it's I think older than the country as well, even though it's
Yeah.
farther west, just
And
because
there
it
was
was like a
lots of
port
turmoil
city.
there as well
Yeah.
with slavery and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So it has a lot of negative connotations for sure.
Yeah.
Savannah didn't surprise me though, but I think if you don't watch and listen to like a lot of ghost things like I do,
Yeah.
it'd be surprising.
I
But
I just never really thought about it, so
yeah.
it's just kind of a random like when
Hmm.
I think of Savannah, the number one I think of thing like the first thing I think of when I hear Savannah is the Savannah Bananas, the minor league baseball team that's like over the top
Yeah.
with its antics and things. Like it's almost like
Hmm.
the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball teams. So,
Yeah.
that's what I think of when I hear Savannah more than anything. But
That's funny because
that's
I think of ghosts.
yeah. Well, that's,
That shows our personalities.
exactly. So it's just it is what
That's
it is.
funny.
But anyway, I think that is it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Um, if so, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know what you think. If not, then don't, because we don't care. Or leave us a message and let us know what else you want us to talk about in the future. So yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week.